how do we refocus our attention to the local level, to the rural level? Some people have blamed it on the current structure that we have, that it's, seem to pay more attention to the central government and all of that. So how do we refocus attention to the local level?
I think you, the media, you have one of the most important role to play in this. Let's hold our leaders accountable at every level. Let's hold every divisional police officer accountable for any kidnapping that is done within the area of his jurisdiction, and you will see change. Let's not ask the governor. Let's not ask any other person who has been charged with the responsibility of ensuring security in point A. Let's hold him accountable. Let's ask him who has committed that crime. Let's tell him that he must tell us.
Yeah, but if you talk about the police, for instance, the police do not answer to the governor, for instance.
No. I'm not asking the governor. I'm not saying the governor should ask. I'm saying Nigerians.
So how are Nigerians to do that?
Should hold accountable. We have an Inspector General of Police. The Inspector General of Police should hold his DPO that governs a particular area accountable for every crime committed within his domain. That's what I'm saying. And Nigerians should hold those people that are responsible accountable. If we have a councillor representing a particular ward, let's hold him accountable for whatever happens within his domain. If we have anybody given responsibility over a particular issue, let's hold that person accountable. Let's not call the chairman of the local government. Let's not speak about, So we as a society.
If you say hold accountable, it sounds very bogus.
Yeah.
In clear terms, how are Nigerians, ordinary Nigerians, supposed to hold, say, people in authority accountable, for instance?
We criticize leaders. We engage leaders, apart from the criticisms. We discuss. We elect. Isn't it? We appoint. We punish. All of these things are taking place in this country. So let's do that as citizens. Let our civil society organizations move and help us organize our communities based on whatever governance structure that exists within those communities. Until we move towards that, holding every leader accountable, we will keep shifting the blame, and the blame will continue to grow, and the problem will remain unsolved. That is it. So we have to strengthen local governance. We have to strengthen our local institutions and our local governments. Once these are functional, the rural areas will be peaceful. And people say that, these criminals, many of the masterminds of the greatest kidnappings, of many of these crimes, the dealers in the drugs, the dealers in arms, those that deal with in these arms, they are not there in the bush. They are here with us. Those that collect the millions in ransom, they are not there in the forest. They are largely with us in the cities. So it's a huge criminal enterprise. We have to break this criminal enterprise and deal with it as it is. We have to see it as a criminal enterprise that have the masterminds, the foot soldiers, the drug suppliers, the arms suppliers, those that, do the trade in stolen properties. Those that butcher the animals that are roasted, they are not there in the forest. They are with us in the cities. We only see the foot soldiers who are, at the tip end and who are just drugged boys who are given guns, very young people given guns, with no value, with no education, with no any ambition, with no ideology, with nothing. They don't value anything. They just value, and they have no asset. They have no territory. They have nothing to protect. So they are completely a disgruntled, young boys that have been drugged into madness. So these are really what we need to focus. So we need to focus our intelligence agencies. We need to build our community institutions and forge stronger partnerships. And as I always say, stop the blame game, forge partnerships, forge strong relationships, and then isolate and deal with these challenges, while separating it from the need for us to develop our economies and our production systems.
All right. Now, how important is the role of religious leaders in shaping these conversations like we are having now. Because it appears that for some of those who perpetrate this criminality, that it doesn't seem like there's any respect for any form of religious, institution, in the country. I mean, it doesn't seem like it, because if there is, then they wouldn't be embarking on the kind of activities that they are engaging in. So talk to us about the role of religious leaders.
Well, I need to distinguish between two. The role of religious leaders in stopping the criminals or in reorienting the criminals, that's entirely a different thing. I think in every society and everywhere there are criminals. And whatever the level of preachings, that's why we have prisons, that's why we have religious injunctions, that's why we have punishments. Because we all know that there are certain people by the nature, they are bound to commit one small crime or another. So that's entirely different. But our religious leaders have one of the strongest responsibilities and a very important role to play in enlightening us, the citizens, to understand the dynamics of this, to understand the injunctions of our religions in responding to this, to help us bury some of these meaningless differences that we are amplifying. Ethnic difference, religious difference, social difference, class difference, socio-economic activity differences, these divisions among us as Nigerians. I think nobody has that stronger responsibility and role than our religious leaders. So that is why they are very, very central and fundamental. They need to preach peace. They need to preach understanding, respect. They need to preach to us the value, the sanctity of life. We all need to come back to our senses to respect that human creature and any other creature by God, and to stop this anarchy and some of these misbehaviors and some of these rhetorics and unnecessary comments, and controversies like you call them, that we are just facing in this country. Nobody has that power, that strength to help Nigeria move out of this impasse like our religious leaders.